fire.
Every time, fire, fire, fire. Every time you are now tuning BABATV. 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 Fire, fire.
Peace and Black Power. Welcome to another edition of BABATV House of Consciousness. It's my absolute pleasure always to be in the company of my big brother Blue Pill and another big brother of mine, Ankh-Ani the Bee Man. And I want to go right into the meat of this and talk about my elder strong warrior brother Mugabe over in Africa, which it seems like I know that the powers that be and white supremacy have absolutely have their hand in trying to get this brother out of here when he basically what he was trying to do was to get the descendants of the slave masters out and told them they could not own any land. By what right should you want to own any land in a land that your forefathers stole? You damn right. Get the hell out of there. You don't have any business being over there. And as Dr. Khaled said, we give you 24 hours to get out of town by sundown. And if you don't get the hell out of town, we kill everything white that ain't right that's in sight.
Yes, indeed. Peace, love, and light. Of course, the brother set the premise for today's conversation, and that is, you know, the manipulative Western powers who have exerted their influence globally. We mentioned last time they was here, they are in 53 of 54 African countries exerting their military influence. So what happened in Zimbabwe was an uprising based on the fact that there has been economic constraints put on Zimbabwe by way of Mugabe, from him taking his stance not only against white quote-unquote colonizers from owning land, but also homosexuality and things of that nature that the Western powers are normally used to marketing and pushing down the throat of different sovereign countries.
Yeah, recreational,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, recreational.
The drug dealers, the pedophiles, they go around to third world country, and just because people are so compromised and strapped for like food to eat, you know what I'm saying? They have this money and they go around the world as tourists and just spread all kind of germs.
Right. So we're going to bring in our McDonald's, we're going to bring in our pornography, then we're going to bring in our pedophilia, you know what I'm saying? Then we're going to bring the drugs in, you know, then we're going to bring sex trafficking, and all of these things are the underbellies or the underpinnings of the dark economy that the U.S. relies upon so it could do its dark wars around the planet. So once again, you know, the pressure was put, so it seems, should we say, the pressure was put on the military of Zimbabwe. They sat Mugabe down, and, you know, they want to make deals. They want to wheel and deal. You feel me? They don't want to be starved out. The people were feeling economic pressure. You know, they weren't willing, like Venezuela, they weren't willing, to stand up and you know, you just got to do it out a little while. You know what I mean? They wasn't willing to do like Cuba has done with Castro, to say as a country we're going to resist the urges of the Western powers to say, look, it's imperative that our leader takes this stance because this stance is important, it's necessary. We don't understand resources, we don't understand land, you know what I mean? And all of these other lands throughout Africa have been compromised, they're for sale. We saw what happened with Gaddafi when he was willing to play the dance, when he was willing to play the game, when he wanted to do the tango with the devil, you understand? We saw what the end result of that is. And now we're seeing the residuals based on the information and the pictures and the footage that we're seeing by way of the slave trade. You know, the aggressive Arab domination of melanated people in that particular region, which has been continuance. Has been continuance since the time of what we call quote-unquote slavery. If it wasn't Sudan, then it was the Arabias. If it wasn't the Arabias, you know, there was other parts of Africa, Mauritania, that was subjugated to all of this treatment, you know. So now we're seeing it in the digital world with Libya, you know what I'm saying? So what fate is waiting to be befallen the people of Zimbabwe in 5 or 10 years when they know it can be totally exploited, because what that signal is to the world is now we're open for business.
Yep.
And what that means is we want these Western dollars to come in, okay? We want you to repair all of these wounds, right, with, you know, the dollars as band-aids.
Yeah.
And we know what them dollars bring with them.
You see, as a young man going to school in Jamaica, Mr. Mugabe to me was like inspirational. You see, a black man could stand up to all these powers that be and just tell them, yo, just get out of our country. That was like the 1980s when I was growing up, you know. And even Bob Marley sing the song about Zimbabwe. So it was always an inspiration to know that Father Mugabe was black. Straight up.
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic. Non-conformist. No selling out. You know, he stand his ground. And that was strength. No, we don't know the inside politics of all of this and what went down, but it's just a shame to see the way how the people treat this man. Yeah. And it's just not right.
And,
all right?
Yeah. And the fact that he will go out without a whimper, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, and this is no disrespect to our Pan-African family over here, but again, it shows the gulf that exists between our claims of quote-unquote black power and a real demonstration of it. When our family's in need, whether they're in Libya, whether in Zimbabwe, you know what I mean? What can exactly be done to enact that level of power where we say we have the numbers, we have the resources, you feel me? But you can't get your hand on no level of redress. You can't take no burners over there. You can't get on no plane and fly over there with your arms and get busy. You can't suit up. You feel me? Only thing you could do is get on social media and raise a ruckus. Sprays the ruckus, you know, spread the word and you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the only words we have now as people is the word. And the word is always the truth. Right. And we as a people, we have zero resistance force. Just look at yesterday, Black Friday. Niggas are condescend upon this city from everywhere, spending all the money on this big insult to our ancestors. The Black Friday day when they used to have slaves for half price, bargain price. People get up, Black Friday, wow. All that money they made out of slavery, and you just gave it back to them.
Right. So we love to espouse how, you know, we're black, we're African, even Moors, you know what I'm saying? There's a big question mark left on a lot of people's forehead based on the situation in Libya. Those are Arab Muslims, you know what I'm saying? Where do you draw the line? You understand? What needs to be said? I've seen pictures with captors with fezzes on, and I know the iconography of that has been in existence for a while, especially when it comes to Arabs manipulating other Africans to subjugate Africans. They always seem to have a fez on. You understand? So this iconography, there has to be a clear distinction. People need to make, or let me not be so vague and say people, these institutions that are claiming a particular identity have to make a differentiation in public to say, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. This is not what I stand for. I don't stand with these people. You know what I'm saying? Muslims the world over have to make a distinction between, look, I don't F with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't support that. You can't find that in the Quran, or can you? You understand? Like, this needs to be discussed, because these are real-time issues that are popping up at a time when the conversation is so rabid amongst our community as to what they are. You know what I'm saying? You are what you do every day. Your culture identifies what you do. You niggas is Americans, okay? Every Black Friday shows that. Every Thanksgiving show that, all right? The celebration of the genocide and the subjugation of a people is the same, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get in our feelings about Libya, but then celebrate Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? A genocide of a people, a subjugation, the abuse of a people, the destruction, the slave trade, you know, the dehumanization of a people is an injustice any and everywhere. All right, no shade or variance of tone should differentiate the fact that suffering is suffering. If you're gonna ride on it on one side, you should ride on it unilaterally across the board.
Injustice is injustice.
You shouldn't stand for that. No way, no how. You understand? So once again, you know, who are these people and what are you willing to ride for? What you willing to die for? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stand for the flag. What you want to stand for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you pledge your allegiance every time that you participate in folk tradition. What's folk tradition? There's 4 folk traditions, 4 cardinal folk traditions in particular in this country that reinforces the power of this country symbolically, not only financially and economically. All right? Easter, right? Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. None of these 4 holidays, quote unquote, have anything tied into any holy or religious institution, right? Christianity is not ordaining Christmas. You can't find that in the Bible. That's not an agreed upon, quote unquote, birth date. You know what I'm saying? You can't find a story of Santa nowhere. That's a folk tradition. Thanksgiving is a folk tradition. Halloween is a folk tradition. Easter is a folk tradition. You know what I mean? It was created in this country, right? Right out in Riverdale, I believe, in California. You know, so all of these things was utilized to reinforce the biggest religion on the planet, which is Americanism. Okay, of which majority of people that already come under, you know, the facade of religion. You know what I'm saying? They are adherents to that particular religion first and foremost, right? Your God says do not kill. Your ass sign up for the U.S. Army. Guess what you're gonna be doing?
Killer.
A whole lot of motherfucking killing. Okay? You train to kill. You know, they say a separation of church and state, but the state send your ass to war. The state got you doing all sorts of things going against your religion, and you don't ask twice. You do that. And God, what God do you trust? You understand? Yeah. So these are inherent questions that show the hypocrisy of a people that claim to pledge allegiance, or not to pledge allegiance to one thing, but clearly is pledging allegiance every other chance that they get. You know, so the hypocrisy of standing up for people who are hypocritical in nature is the fate that befell Mugabe. And it's the fate that awaits all other people that seem to be standing up for people who won't stand up for themselves. Peace.
You see, from my point of view, looking out at what's going on in the world, you see, a masculine, heterosexual male who have a ounce a moral or ethics, we are all under attack. You know what I'm saying? You just take these so-called movie icons, producer, actors, whatever. Everybody in the world know where they used to partake back in the 80s or whatever. All these debauchery and orgies, all of these women, they play the role, and they got the role. They got the Grammys, they got the Oscars, they got the movie role, they got the millions. And they were all having fun with all the nastiness and the orgies and the sex and all of that. So now they are a victim, and all of these men are perverts and rapists. It's a program. You know what I'm saying? It's all a program, because you all knew what you were doing. So how come 20 years later you're a victim of something? You see, people need to read between the lines, because these so-called scapegoat dudes that are taking down now, Weinstein and Stallone and all these different idols that people see on TV, is just a program. Now everybody looking at the masculine man, a heterosexual man, as if you are a pervert, you are a molester. As men, you should watch yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You should be really careful of where you're going on with these women and them, because it's all a setup, bro. Be careful of what you're doing. Because having some rough, freaky sex with these women down the years, you might end up to be a rapist or something. You see what I'm saying? So I'm talking to brothers out here, especially brothers of color in these faraway places, going to school in all these states. Be very careful when messing with females, because all they have to do is cry wolf, cry foul, and that's it for you. So watch your behavior, watch your behavior. Watch the type of girls that you're hanging out with, who you're having sex with, who you're having fun with. Later on down the line, it will come to bite you. It's best to find a woman that you love. I did that 20 years ago, and I'm still with the same woman. So watch your behavior, brothers, because it's dangerous out here, and it's open season on your ass, alright? Alright, peace and black power. BABATV, all time fire.